Fuck all lives matter. I know I got your attention by saying that, right? For the past few years, African Americans and allies to the African American struggle have been chanting the famous quote, Black Lives Matter. It's not only a saying that we support, it's something that we rally behind in the face of social injustices that plague our community. It's not just a famous hashtag anymore. It's grown into a movement of impressive momentum. You have celebrities such as Amandla Stenberg and Jesse Williams, and you have activists such as DeRay McKesson who support Black Lives Matter so much. And as of recent, Black Lives Matter activists actually crashed Toronto Pride so they actually get their voices heard once more. It's been years since this movement was started by 3 strong, proud black women, but I still ask myself, why do we still have to chant Black Lives Matter? Alton Sterling was a 37-year-old black man who was murdered in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. His death was due to a disturbance call placed in the early morning hours of Tuesday, July 5th. The responding officers were Blake Salamone and Howie Lake, and by 12:37 a.m., Alton Sterling lay dead at their hands. And unfortunately, his demise was caught on film. Now, Sterling actually had a gun on him, but at the time of his murder, he wasn't brandishing his weapon and he wasn't even reaching for his weapon. But he was viciously and maliciously murdered. And unfortunately, this was followed by the deaths of Delron Small and Philando Castile. Philando Castile was actually a casualty, did nothing wrong. He actually told the officer that he was legally licensed to conceal and carry, and he was gunned down reaching for his license. In an act of road rage, Delron Small was actually gunned down by a police officer. In the days following that, we have a man in Atlanta who was found hanging by his neck in a park. It's now been about a week since all these deaths have happened. A community is reeling. We're all trying to process it. We're angry, we're hurt. Families are devastated, and we're asking ourselves, how could this happen again? Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, Akai Gurley, Walter Scott, Ayanna Stanley, Eric Garner, Mike Brown, Freddie Gray, Trayvon Martin. These are the names of black people. These are the names of martyrs. These are the names of unjust murder victims. These are some of the names that helped start the Black Lives Matter movement. So what does Black Lives Matter mean? If you ask many people, you'll get a myriad of answers. Black Lives Matter could mean black people are innocent. It could be an excuse to get black people off on crimes and punishment. It could be pride in our culture, and it could mean, why doesn't all lives matter? The meaning of Black Lives Matter is as simple as that. Black lives matter. By saying Black Lives Matter, we aren't saying that any other life pales in comparison to ours. We know that other people struggle. We know that other people's lives matter, but it's about our problems. It isn't about exclusivity. It's about focus. And with focus, we can learn to have conversations, dialogue, and that's how change can happen. We're saying our struggles, our people, our senseless deaths, the bastardization and appropriation of our culture can no longer be ignored. When you say that all lives matter, you're basically putting a pair of noise-canceling headphones on your ears. You're ignoring the countless black men who were gunned down, or the black women who were raped and victimized, and all those black children who are left crying and devastated after that. And then you'll just take off those headphones and then you'll laugh at our mothers who are drug addicts and alcoholics, but their answer to their problems is at the bottom of a bottle or the end of a crack pipe. And then you'll mock us for having absent fathers when you gunned them down. When you say that all lives matter, you're saying that we have the same struggles as you do. Take Tamir Rice, for example, a 12-year-old boy playing with an airsoft gun, gunned down. It's the same as Dylan Roof, a 17-year-old boy who walked into a church in Charleston, South Carolina and gunned down real victims. So they're the same, right? They both had guns. Both were potential threats. But Tamir Rice is dead. A 12-year-old is dead. And Dylan Roof was rewarded with Burger King after being captured. Another example, James Holmes, the gunman at the Aurora 2012 shootings. He claimed 24 lives in that theater. And we can compare him to Alton Sterling, a normal, everyday black guy, had a little bit of a history, but he wasn't even brandishing his weapon, and he laid dead on the floor. He'll never open his eyes again. While James Holmes was apprehended, and though he has consecutive life sentences, he's going to be able to actually live and actually breathe and experience and really get to repent for his sins. We live in a society that will show the mugshot of a murder victim, but will show the Instagram selfies of a young teenage girl who murdered a homeless man. So when you say all lives matter, you really just don't fucking get it, do you? After these recent tragic events, my trust in the law enforcement has been shattered. Every time I walk by policemen, it's a mix of angst and paranoia. The people who are supposed to serve and protect us, they've become our assailants. The badge, the blue and red lights, the guns, the nightsticks, to me that's synonymous with the chainsaws of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Freddy Krueger's nails, I mean even Jason's fucking knife. Horror villains, that's what I see. My trust in law enforcement has been twisted into scorn and utter horror. Whenever I get pulled over or whenever I make a 911 call, whenever a policeman approaches me, I tense up. I have to think, this could be my last seconds on earth. And as a socially aware person, my goal is to teach, is to inspire, and be the change that I want for the world. I want to be here for a long, long time. As furious as I am with the George Zimmermans, the Darren Wilsons, the Howie Lakes and Blaine Salamonis of the world, they honestly terrify the shit out of me. I'm scared I'll be pushed in the back of a police car. I'm terrified that I'll be shoved to the ground and have the full weight of a policeman on my frail little body. I'm 5'9", 145 pounds soaking wet. I'm so afraid that one of their bullets has my name etched on the side of it. I scream the names of the fallen. I cry when I see their families on TV or on the internet. But my biggest fear is that I'm gonna become one of them. A reality that has to set in is that it's a possibility that my mom, my brother, or one of my friends will get a call in the middle of the morning. They'll have to come to a morgue and pull a sheet back and see my body cold, flushed. My bones are broken. My body is riddled with bullet holes. And the cause of my death is existing while being black. When I leave every day for work, I shouldn't have to look into my mom's eyes and think that this may be the last time I'm going to be seeing her. The next time she sees my eyes, it's going to be on a television screen, or it can be on a poster. She's going to see me in a pine box, adorned with flowers, just soaked in the tears of my family. And my eyes are sealed, just like my fate. How am I supposed to tell the generation that follows me that they should call 911 when they're in trouble? I'm scared that 911 will see them as the wrongdoer and not the victim. Now, for Dallas, I understand what happened to those police officers didn't deserve to happen. To my knowledge, they were innocent officers who were doing their job. They were protecting. They were serving. And you have a madman who painted the guys in blue with violent splashes of red. What I learned from Dallas is that an eye for an eye will leave a nation blind, but fear and anger begets violence. It begets hostile behavior. Granted, there are cops here who do their job. They're here to protect and serve, and they have loyalty in their heart, and they have such humility. But we see the bad apples in that bunch, and it's spoiling the black community's trust in law enforcement. We feel threatened. We feel angry. We are scared. We're really scared. And as much as my heart goes out to those innocent officers in blue, I can't ignore the innocent and unjust victims who have my skin tone, who have a black skin tone. Now, if we never said Black Lives Matter, I don't think you would have ever said All Lives Matter. Every person who says All Lives Matter, it just reminds me of that perpetual whiny kid who just wants what the other person wants. You want the toy that the other kid wants because you don't have it. You think that Black Lives Matter was just passed down to us like a hand-me-down. Black Lives Matter is a movement that we consistently have to fight for and fight to validate every single day. Blood was spilled. Tears were shed. Bodies were broken so we can say Black Lives Matter. People were murdered so we can say that Black Lives Matter. So the next time you say All Lives Matter, do you truly think that all lives do matter, or no life should matter more than yours? The reason we continue to say that Black Lives Matter is because Black Lives Matter. All Lives Matter just trivializes the struggles that blacks are bombarded with on a daily basis. You may believe that we live in a post-racial society. You may believe that the past 50 to 60 years of freedom that we have can undo centuries of oppression and dehumanization. When you say all lives matter, you just don't get where we're coming from. Yes, no one deserves to be a murder victim. No one deserves to be discriminated against. No one deserves to be victimized in any way. Instead of saying all lives matter, use your voice. Use your voice to aid us in our struggles. Help us be the change that we want for the world. Help us. Don't just ignore the problem. You should stand beside us, not in front of us. I challenge everyone to think beyond a hashtag. Think beyond an article. Use your words, use your art, use your media, use your resources to be the change you want for this world. Since it's happened, my whole perspective of what I want to do with my life has completely changed. I just don't want to make people laugh. I just don't want to entertain people. I want to inspire. I want to challenge people to think a certain way, a different way that they may have thought before. I want to teach. I want to be a person who can change. I want to be someone who can really, really drive the point home that Black Lives Matter. And for those who have fallen, for those families who are still grieving, I pray for you guys every single day. You're martyrs and you didn't choose to be martyrs. You're heroes and you didn't choose to be heroes. I will fight the good fight for you every single day. I'll remember your struggles every single day. I'll remember your family's tears every single day that I live, that I breathe as a Black man. We will sing your name in praise. We'll provide peace and understanding to your family. And with that, your lives matter. Your family's lives matter. My Black life matters. Our Black lives matter. That's just some food for thought. Thank you.